I think it started with speaking against Trump, right? And I think that's really what started it all, is Trump doing what he did
recently,
broke
in Canada for
this
sure.
tribalism right in two, because now all of a sudden you have a lot of Canadians who might have been like, moderate about Trump, who didn't really care, take a firm stance, were just like, whatever, he's kind of an idiot, but he's whatever. And then all of a sudden now it's like, well, now he's kind of a direct problem to me, right? Now he's threatening my country. He's making our lives more difficult, or Canadians' lives more difficult, because of these, even just threatening these tariffs. And now, not to mention, arguably meddling in our elections again with with the endorsement we talked about earlier, right? And it's just like the amount of just crap he's throwing it. Like, he's just kind of just able so easily to cause waves in our country and our political landscape, and I think he loves it, and I think he knows it, and I think at this point he's just doing whatever, he's just saying whatever he wants because it's fun, because I don't know, maybe it's just part of fun to him. I don't know what it is at this point. I really can't tell, but I
don't even know if he's lucid anymore. I don't know if he's just like a
I was just saying,
he's like the lights are on but nobody's home.
I was just saying I think the tribalism is breaking, and that people are starting to kind of be forced out of that way of thinking, and they're like, hey, now I have to formulate my own opinion even further on my own, right? And I think that's something that can seem daunting at first, but I think most people, you kind of get forced into it when you have something like this happen, right? And now with him doubling down on, like I said, he's doubled down on supporting the Liberals on top of the tariffs, right? So it's just like, it's almost like he wanted to make every conservative hate him in Canada, and I think it's, I don't know if that's what he intended. I don't think there is any conscious thought behind what he's doing, or premeditated purposes behind this. And I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think that he's got a general way that he approaches everybody. And when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's just kind of how he lives his life, I mean, you even see, I don't know how much you've looked into that thing with Eric Adams in the States, but like Trump has, and just like they said in that JJ McCullough video where Tim from the Bulwark was saying that
Trump is rooting for the enemy, have tried to say, well, he's playing a 4-dimensional chess or whatever. Do you think there's anything to that?
Trump is eating the pieces. Here's what Trump does. He compliments people that compliment him. And so he is annoyed. He probably knows nothing about Pierre, to be honest. He probably knows extremely little. What he knows is that he's supposed to be the conservative and that he said mean things about the tariffs. And so that's it. You're done. Trump. If you attack Trump, you're done. If you compliment him, it's great. If either of us put on a red hat right now and said, hey, we love Donald Trump, we've changed our mind, we're totally wrong about him, immediately Trump would send a bleat about us on his social media and welcome us and say how great we are. Like that. He's a very simple man in that regard.
So I guess the point of bringing that up was just to say that I don't think that Trump really cares whether Canada goes conservative or liberal. It makes no difference to him. I don't think that he cares what happens to the Republican Party when he's done being president, right? Like, I don't think he has a really hard interest in either ideological side. He just kind of cares about his own legacy and like getting the things that he wants to get done. It really is his interest at the top of the ticket, right? And I think the other thing that he has that's a huge advantage is a lot of people go to him for basically their stance on everything, right? And, what we were just talking about where people are kind of having to back away and reassess and make their own opinions on things. And you were saying, like you said, it's difficult, right? And I think that what Trump has been for a lot of people is they just assume that what he's saying, I agree with basically everything this guy says. So he says this thing, that's my stance on it too. I don't have to look into it. I'm just, I'm usually on the same side as this guy. And I mean, I think we're all kind of guilty of this sometimes. I've had times where I bring things up and I have to think to myself like, oh, where did I get that idea? And it's like, oh, I got it from someone else and now I'm repeating it. And it's not actually an organic idea of my own. It's just something that I heard somebody that I trusted say, and now I'm repeating it. Right. And I everybody does it. And I don't think it's like an evil or bad thing, but I think that it's healthy to kind of re-examine on where we're getting those claims from, because, we all know, and, even people that are big fans of Trump will admit that he's not always being truthful and that he does just kind of say things sometimes and he doesn't really mean them. Right. And so, you get this kind of Schrodinger's candidate where you can kind of just, believe what you want to believe and not believe what you don't want to believe. And yeah, that's not a good thing, right? Like, we don't want to be in a world where you're not verifying the things that you believe. You should, look into all of it. Don't repeat things if you don't know that it's true. Just because you think it's true doesn't mean that it's worth repeating.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, there's plenty more where that came from. You can find the link to the full episode in the description below. Click now, watch, and get grounded with all of us. Thanks for watching.